Hey there folks, welcome back to ZeldaSpeedRuns, welcome back to the coverage of the Skyward Randomizer tournament. Today in Group 3, we've got RickyofKokiri versus 64-bit Link. Should be an absolutely awesome match. Commentating today will be CJ's07, and tracking today will be Pac-Man, Power Ghost, and Renderon. Take it away, CJ's.
Alright, hey guys, welcome back, as we said, to the Skyward Sword Randomizer tourney. We've got a good match today, RickyofKokiri versus 64-bit Link. 64, of course, the number 1 seed in his group, and Ricky, the 4 seed, but should be a good match nonetheless. Gonna be an exciting match nonetheless. No matter what, Skyward Sword is always a good time, even when the seeds are mean. So we'll see our runners starting today, as usual, with the adventure pouch and 1 open pillar to access the surface, as well as 2 progressive swords, so that we start with the goddess sword, and ultimately we are looking to finish 2 randomly selected dungeons, as well as obtain the master sword or the true master sword. Either will work via progressive sword upgrades, as well as the goddess harp, in order to raise the gate of time and enter the past, where we will be fighting the horde and Gear of 3 and Demise to finish the run out. Alright, countdown is started, and our runners will be getting started here in just a few seconds. Right when we start off here, we'll start in Link's room with the Hero's Tunic as well, and we will head out and be directly given an item by Fledge, who would normally give us the adventure pouch, but, you know, being rando, this is a random item, and this has the power to completely change the direction of the seed depending on what you get. And then our runners will also be checking their required dungeons on the notice board just to the right by the classroom here. We've seen a lot of Linear dungeons lately, so maybe we'll see something else, although a very first item check on the claw shots does not seem to indicate otherwise. However, you know, Fledge has been known to do us wrong before. It is Ancient Cistern and Sand Ship, so 1 Linear dungeon, and the Ancient Cistern in Farron. Ancient Cistern, a fairly fast dungeon. Sand Ship, a fairly lengthy dungeon, but also not only somewhat lengthy, but having a lot of requirements to get in. To find and douse for the Sand Ship, our runners will need the claw shots, which they already have, in order to access the Lanayru Sand Sea. Of course, they'll also need the Amber Tablet for the Lanayru Pillar, in order to access the surface there. The Ancient Sea Chart will allow them to douse for the Sand Ship, and of course they'll need the bow and potentially the whip in order to complete the dungeon. If our runners get lucky, they may be able to skip the whip and even possibly the boss, depending on how the items may fall. Getting their adventure pouch upgrade here in the training hall. Nothing too major there, doesn't open any progression, but it's just nice to have because you get an extra pouch slot. Runners, I'm sure, are hoping to find at least a heart medal and a shield in the item pool, although I imagine we will see at least one of them buy a shield, depending on the rupees in this early routing here. There's both a wooden shield and the Hylian shield in the item pool. However, they are not progression items, so there is no guarantee that our runners will run into them. They could be put in an unrequired dungeon or something like that, or a goddess chest, which are disabled. So the checks that our runners will not be checking today are goddess chests, because they are not progression items, as well as their 4 unrequired dungeons, as well as minigame checks. So Ricky here, the first to diverge from quote-unquote traditional Skyloft route, electing to use his claw shots to go back into the academy in Zelda's room, so we'll get a fresh item check here. Meanwhile, 64 is copying a file here to set up for back in time in the event that he needs it. I don't necessarily agree with that play right here, given the required dungeons. Our runners are going to potentially want to execute Tentalus Skip, which is a reverse bit magic that requires a very specific file setup, usually created in Lanayru Desert, also potentially creatable in Elden Volcano. I'm seeing that our starting pillar is indeed Farron, which we've been seeing a lot of recently, which is interesting because we saw a lot of Lineru pillars in the lead up to the tournament. But okay, and then 64 from the Potion Lady getting the Amber Tablet. Given the claw shots, we may see 64 elect to ignore the Sphere Zero checks in Farron and go directly to Lineru in a little bit here. Unfortunately, it's a bit of a coin toss there. The Lineru checks are a bit slower, but there are a handful more of them, and they are a bit denser, even if they are slow. But Farron has one very long check and a couple smaller checks off that path. The long check in Farron being the Kick-Wee chase for the slingshot, of course. 64 got the Horned Colossus Beetle from somewhere. I'm not totally certain where. But he's going to immediately use his claw shots and go and turn it in. Definitely a wise decision here. You'll see our runners talking to Beatrice, the item check girl, throughout the course of this run as well. There are a total of 10 conversations in that quest line, and you have to sleep between them. There are a couple of very specific points where you have to talk to her father at night. Otherwise, it's just talk to her in the bazaar during the day. We should see our runners sneaking in conversations here and there throughout their run, if they are, not banking on Beatrice being unrequired, which we've learned the hard way is a very unwise decision. 64 not getting anything from the Beetle, unfortunately, but this lets him slip in a free sleep in order to cycle through a Beatrice conversation here. Getting a little bit confused by the nunchuck there and walking back out of Beetle's ship and then bonking. Movement in Beetle's ship can be a little wonky. Sometimes you can get the roll off, sometimes you can't. Sometimes the stick carries the direction, sometimes they don't. Also, shoutouts to Gymnast86. Thank you for the raid. Welcome to the Skyward Sword Rando tourney, of course. We've got 64-bit Link versus RickyofKokiri. Should be a great match. 64 electing to buy another pouch slot. There's not really much use for rupees in SSR. The only real uses are if you want to buy a shield, or if you are one of the runners that likes to buy a Guardian Potion at the end of the run in order to give you safety in Horde, because sometimes you just don't get heart, sometimes you don't get a heart medal, so it's really hard to rely on getting things like heart containers for Horde safety. There's always, our runners will more than likely find at least one bottle, which means they'll have the ability to get a fairy. Ricky finding the Ballad of the Goddess, which in our settings will open up the Thunderhead. By default here, the Thunderhead will have 2 checks that our runners can reach. There are a total of 5 checks in the Thunderhead. Each sword upgrade they have, going from the Goddess Sword to the Goddess Longsword, and then to the Goddess White Sword from the Longsword, will each open up 1 additional check on the Island of Songs, corresponding to each of the songs you would learn in the vanilla game. As well as 1 random chest on an island in the Thunderhead, as well as the Levias fight. Odds are that we see our runners skip out on the Levias fight, simply because it is a long fight, probably takes 4 to 5 minutes to get the check, not to mention the detour to get the pumpkin soup from the Lumpy Pumpkin. Ricky doing a nice little trick there where, diving off the waterfall cave platform after the waterfall cave, you can dive to the left a little bit and manipulate what part of the sky you spawn into, in order to immediately dive off and land near the goddess statue. Finding some gratitude crystals here for Ricky. I believe that will be 10 for him. So the gratitude crystals unlock Betrow rewards. Betrow is limited to his first set of rewards up to the 50 gratitude crystal reward. So that means we have rewards on 5, 10, 30, where there are 2 rewards, 40 and 50. So given that we have 10 here for Ricky, I imagine we'll see a Night Skyloft loop where he will sleep tonight and then bonk the grave and open up the Betrow door at the very least. But we should see him get the 5 and 10 reward. Of note that all of the 5 packs are still randomized as progression items, even if they are not required to reach past, because even if they would make you reach past 50 crystals, simply because the rando can't know what crystals you get. It could hide them in non-progression locations, but it's just not the way it works. Alright, it looks like Ricky is not going to be sleeping here and getting the crystal rewards. Looks like he's going to be heading either towards Farron or Lanayru. The only two places he can go. He can also go to Lumpy Pumpkin. We'll see, based on which platform he... based off the platform he dove off, I would have imagined he was going to Farron, but Lanayru is a fine choice here as well with claw shots. With claw shots, we'll see him land at mines. Oh, no, he is going for the Oriel Island in order to start this quest line. Without a bottle, you can only get one check here. There are 3 total checks in this quest line, the bottle and 2 pairs of gratitude crystals normally. So sometimes we'll see runners delay it in the hopes of finding an early bottle. Sometimes we'll see runners immediately do the quest. Neither of them is really a bad decision. It's really up to runner preference and whether or not they think that it will be necessary for logic. Ricky obviously not feeling like it's necessary for logic at this point and just starting the quest and heading immediately to Lanayru. If I was him, I would have talked to Dodo on Fun Fun Island as well, because that will set him up if he gets bombs in Lanayru and is able to then be able to pick up the party wheel without flying back to the sky. But Ricky will be claw-shotting up here and presumably going around in order to find the, to open the chest behind the landing area here. I believe that now we will see 64 go to Zelda's room as well. He's taking taking mostly the same checks as Ricky, just in a different order. Both of their routes perfectly fine. So let's see what Ricky gets here. If he gets something like bombs, I believe we will see him go through mines rather than to the Sand Sea. He gets a beetle, however. That doesn't really do much for him. Unfortunately, the regular beetle really doesn't do much in Skyward Sword Rando unless you have Skyview as a required dungeon, in which case it can be your logical progression into a couple of checks there, as well as your logical progression into the dungeon itself, since the beetle can be used to bonk down the vines and open the door to Skyview. Although with claw shots, Ricky did not need that for that case. And Skyview not being required, beetle not particularly helpful. We may see him use it to get a couple of freestanding items in Farron or Elden later on in the run. We'll see if he thinks of it. It's not really a big deal in either of them. The one in Farron skips walking on a rope and can make your movement a little bit smoother. And Elven is only relevant if you have Bomb Bag already, because otherwise you have to walk all the way over anyway. So Ricky entering the Lanayru Caves here. There are 2 checks here, one of which will always be a small key so that you can get into the Sand Sea. We'll see which one gives it here. Doesn't really matter which one it is. Neither, unless you're in Go mode, it doesn't really matter which one has it. So Vanilla Small Key from Golo here. Let's see what's in the chest. This chest normally contains a Bokoblin horn, fun fact. And Phi tells you that you can whip the horn off of the belts of Bokoblins that carry them normally. But it is a heart container. Ricky probably very happy to find a heart container early. Of note, our runners are playing on hero mode, even though it did not look like that on the file select screen. Because the randomizer will automatically put you into hero mode because it impacts logic. 64 also doing Betrow, so all eyes there. Getting a bottle and another 5-pack of gratitude crystals. Betrow really likes to give us gratitude crystals back lately, it seems. So 64 gonna have a little bit of an edge here because he has a bottle already, so we should see him cycle back to day, talk to Beatrice, and then fly over to the volcanic island in the sky, where there are some mushrooms growing, where he will pick up mushroom spores to heal Oriel's injured bird and get some extra checks. Gratitude crystals unlock the checks on Betrow, which normally are wallet upgrades in vanilla, as well as a couple other rewards. But, you know, random. It will be randomized. Up to the 50 mark will be progression here. 64 doing a little cutscene skip there. You can front hop and or jump slash, depending on your exact execution, in order to skip a text box when picking up treasures, loose gratitude crystals, and etc. All those types of things. It does not save that much time in rando. It only really saves time if you get it in smooth execution, because the extra cutscenes associated with it are removed and the text box is shortened, as well as the fact that we just have instant text. And 64 starting the quest for iDude, otherwise known as Spirit, the fortune teller, where we want to pick up a crystal ball for him from Eldin. We don't have the Eldin pillar yet, but we have claw shots, and eventually we will get there for it. And it's always just an easy check to grab, especially when we have something like digging that's already want to be up there. Ricky's gonna take the boat in Sandsea all the way to Pirate Stronghold, I assume. There are 3 checks in Pirate Stronghold that he can get. He can full clear this section of the Sandsea. Even though he doesn't have the Gust Bellows. Normally we would try to avoid this without Gust Bellows, because there's a Goddess Cube that requires the Gust Bellows. But since Goddess Cubes are non-progression items, will have non-progression items, it does not really matter here. So like I said, I believe we'll see 64 go and do the Oreo quest line. I don't know where he will go from there. I think it is possible that we see him go to either Lanayru or Farron. Personally, I'm hoping to see him go to Farron just to see some more divergence in our 2 runners' routes. But, you know, what he gets from Oriel and Paro here could determine what he does next. He could get something like the Ruby Tablet and just immediately dip to Eldin, which is one of the best region. Or excuse me, is the best region when you don't have much in the way of items to work with. Ricky going to be equipping his shield here just for safety. Most of the time you'll see the runners try and have their shield unequipped, because the action of shield bashing is actually mapped to the same action as rolling. And you don't want to accidentally shield bash when you're trying to roll, especially in tight situations. Ricky handling the spoon, no real issue. Currently, it is not possible to have Skykeep as a required dungeon. There is a specific option for Skykeep. And in that case, Skykeep is always required when that is enabled. So short answer, not in these settings. Long answer, not in these settings, but there are settings that enable it. Ricky taking an unfortunate death here in Pirate Stronghold. Pirate Stronghold can be very brutal. There's a little trick you can do there to squeeze past the BMOS, but if you don't know it or you're not confident in the movement for it, it can be a very dangerous situation. Yes, this is a late game area, and we are playing on hero mode, so all it takes is right now for Ricky 4 hits because he does have 7 hearts. I did not see what was on the chandelier from 64 there, but it must be good because he's sleeping tonight and will presumably be grabbing the loose crystals and bonking down the chandelier. Most of the time, if it's not good, we'll see our runners skip these 2 loose crystals. I still can't see from this camera angle. It appears to be either the harp or a song, since they use the same model. and it is a song. So Ferrari's Courage. On songs, we do have hints that will tell us whether or not there is a progression item as the reward for the trial. So it looks like for Ferrari's Courage here, which is the Farron trial, there is a progression item on the trial there. So whether or not we'll see 64 do that remains to be seen. They don't have the harp, so they can't open the they can't open the trial anyway. However, 64-bit may, very unlikely, but may elect to use reverse bit magic in order to open the trial. I'd also be interested to see if 64 goes to the Thunderhead here. Would be an interesting choice considering it's not the most check-dense segment coming up here. Ooh, Ricky missing a jump there. Happens to the best of us. Oh no, the 64-bit is at 25 Gratitude Crystals. I did not see where he got all of them, but that could be the reason he's picking up individual crystals, because he plans on getting Betro 30 soon, regardless of if he can get another 5-pack. I was going to see what was in the first chest in Pirate Stronghold from Ricky, because I was looking at 64 and the song. To beat the game, we will need to complete Ancient Cistern and Sandship, as well as the Harp and the Master Sword. And obviously the Emerald Tablet in order to access the past, but they need that anyway. Heart piece for Ricky, probably thankful for that health refill. I know I would be in that case. Ricky in a little bit of a sticky situation there. It looks like he's got them to calm down. Ricky's first chest was a golden skull, okay. So yeah, so nothing interesting there. Quadra Baba giving Ricky a little bit of trouble here. He should be able to just pick it up, aggro, and then walk through. Yep, just like that. Normally with Deku Babas, what you want to do is just wait out there, like, so walk in, spawn them, and then let them, like, wait a couple seconds, and then they just won't aggro when you walk through them. The Bokoblin on Ricky's screen just walking out of existence. Good on him for that. Hopefully Ricky does not die here again. Oh, 64 got the harp. I totally was not looking at his screen, so... I assume he got the harp from Pero in that case. So we'll see what's on Betro 30, see if the Loose Crystal collection paid off for him. He just got the harp, like, right now. There are 2 rewards there. 64 getting a sword upgrade from Betro there. A very good thing to find. Swords can sometimes be the bane of our runner's existence. Also the harp, since they don't open that many checks, but... Ricky dying there in order to death warp. That was an intentional death. So Ricky not finding anything particularly helpful in Sansi here, electing to leave instead of get the one other check here, which, you know, with my commentary knowledge, he is making the correct choice because there are a lot of other things here that he could be doing instead. And we know that they lead to more progression, such as Ferrari's Courage and the Harp, with Ferrari's Courage being required as well. We'll see what's going on here from 64. 64 electing to go to Farron here, which definitely I agree with given the potentially required trial. So 64 will get 2 checks here in the Sealed Temple. He will get the check that's normally the Bout of the Goddess from playing the harp with Impa, as well as just the chest that would normally contain the Revitalizing Potion. So we get a little bit of Garus action here from 64. Ricky also electing to go immediately to Farron. You know, with our knowledge that that's not the correct play, unfortunately for him, but not a bad play nonetheless. So we should see Ricky get the 1 check in Sealed Temple before 64 finishes off the Bout of the Goddess check here. This check is always required to be completed. It will not always have a required item, but this check is also what raises the Gate of Time, so that is the reason it is required. So nothing in that other chest. Let's see what's on Ballad of the Goddess. It is the Digging Mitts. That will not do our runners any good at this very moment because they do not have access to Eldin, which is where it's normally required. Ricky making it into Farronwoods here. We'll see probably 64 do a trick called Log Jump here. Well, that just skips the little panning cutscene of that. Of the log being, once you've pushed the log in. And both runners should be starting the Kikwi rescue quest here. So we may see a bit of a long stretch here without any major checks. Without getting any items, I should say. I imagine that we will see our runners start the Kikwi quest, and then in between Lopsa and Erla, they should visit the Deep Woods to get the loose chest there, since there's no other reason to go, any other time that they would want to go there. 64 attempting to bonk down a vine here and missing. In a quite uncharacteristic fashion.
Right, we had some slight technical difficulties, but it seems like you are now joined by a co-commentator. A little bit late, but you have BattleCats59 on you for you now. Hello there.
It's time here now.
Hey,
Joined a
now,
little
cats.
late, but I have a basic understanding of the seed so far, and it doesn't seem too bad.
So far, not particularly bad, but you know, all SSR seeds, or some SSR seeds seem really nice at the beginning, and then just say, yeah, we're not giving you any more items for like an hour.
I've had way too many seeds like that. Ricky was just sitting down on a small tree stump there. I haven't seen that tree stump in a long time because speedrunners never go up there.
Missing the rope, unfortunately. So he's gonna have to run back around here. Ooh, 64 messing up the fight here a little bit. Ideally for fights, you want to just charge a Skyward Strike and walk away from enemies and just turn around and Skyward Strike them off, but sometimes that plan does not work.
Also, 64-bit missing the tree with the lobster roll.
Yeah, there's a 1 frame window where you can roll there and bonk Lopsa out of the tree before this text starts, and it just causes the cutscenes to play in a really funny way. It's a 1 frame trick with no visual or audio cue at all, so
Very difficult. I've never gotten it before personally.
and in fact, it doesn't actually save time. It's just a swag trick. I think it actually loses like a second.
Still
Wait,
looks
that
cool
might
though.
that might be circles. That's another swag trick that we'll see our runners go for. We like our swag tricks in SSR. So yeah, as predicted, 64 is heading towards the deep woods. There's 1 chest here that we should see him get. The lobster roll is the swag strat that does save. It saves like a second or something like that. Believe it or not, swag strats can save time.
Some.
Lobster roll can also lose time if you get it and then forget to talk to Lobsa, because it plays the cutscene of Lobsa being rescued, but then plays the text that would normally play when Lobsa is saying that he doesn't want to come out of the tree, or that he can't because his legs are jelly. But that does not actually mark him as rescued. It's the text after that. So you have to actually manually talk to him. (64) going for a trick called Cube Warp here. Having trouble triggering the Boko and getting hit by the Octorok there. A little unfortunate, because now he is 1 hit from death. Nice. Basically, using the Bokoblin to get an angle there, we can angle a Skyward Strike upwards so it hits this cube, and this cube has a special cutscene attached to it, so it just warps us up there.
No walk of shame for 64-bit.
Yep. We call having to go around the long way the walk of shame, because you get 3 attempts at cube warp normally, in vanilla game at least. In rando, you can have up to 3 attempts, but if you have a later sword, which actually 64 does have the long sword, so he actually has less attempts there. He gets, I believe, 2.
I'm pretty sure Master Sword and True Master Sword is 1 hit, so 1
Yep.
attempt.
Yep. Ricky running out of stamina trying to climb the vines here. Little unfortunate. Ooh, are we gonna see an immediate trial strat from 64? This is a bold play from 64, but I like it a lot, actually.
Early trials can definitely pay off in some cases if you get something good. Puts you well
Yeah.
ahead of the other opponent.
Yeah, this is a huge gamble from 64. Also, 64 getting a trick called harp cancel there, where you cancel the playing of the harp, but then immediately finish the last strum, and it actually causes the game to think you finished the strum, and cancels the cutscene of 5 singing, which is nice. And actually, you can miss it once and cancel the entire playing and play again and get it the second time and still save time because of how long the fucking cutscene is.
Her singing isn't too bad though.
Yeah. I can't tell what that was on the platform there for Ricky. He obviously doesn't care about it because he's not going to get it. Or he might be using the claw shots to make it faster. No, he is going directly up. So yeah, so the reason that this is such a gamble for 64 is that it could still be one of the 4 remaining bottles. It could be a dead end song. It could be a one-use quest, like a one-check quest item. It could be more gratitude crystals, which aren't particularly useless, but not a fun check to have to do. Or I should say, not fun to do a trial and just get gratitude crystals when you already have 50. But since 64 is not at 50 yet, Ricky's gonna be
Ricky is
playing a
getting
moblin.
bodied by the moblin.
Yeah, I got bodied by a moblin in a seat earlier today, where I chopped up his shield and then he just wouldn't throw it away, so it was still absorbing all the hits. Ooh. Mistiming the backflip there. It is necessary to defeat this moblin here because there's a void plane until he's defeated in the specific state of the Great Tree. Ricky should make that jump. Yeah. Meanwhile, 64 is almost done with the trial. He will be done in the next minute or so. Ricky getting his first bottle.
Pit.
64-bit getting the digging emits from the Silent Realm, which could be very helpful for Eldon, which he does not have access to at the moment.
That's his second mitt, actually, so that actually only will open up one check for him later on.
Oh, those are the magma mitts.
Yeah. His, if Ricky had the harp here, he would also have gotten the mitts, because the mitts are, or one of the mitts is the Battle of the Goddess check. $64 failing to cut enough grass for Erla here, unfortunately. Ooh, I think we might see early Lake Floria here from Ricky. Without scale, but he... no, he's just going around again. To go back to the kick wheeler, I guess. I guess he doesn't know about the other rope. Because he has claw shots, so we can just knock it down with the claw shots.
Yeah, it doesn't look knocked down at the moment.
I can understand not knowing the trick to knock it down with the roll, but just a piece of heart. Ricky, contemplating what he wants to do here.
Looks like Ricky's gonna do the fence hop to get to Lake Floria. But I don't know
I
if he
definitely
knows
agree
how to
with-
do it.
I definitely agree with this play if he can get it, because it's just a good play because he has Cistern as a required dungeon. So he can, even if he doesn't go into Lake Floria or the Water Dragon's lair, he just checks the statue and leaves, and then he can come back to the statue when he has scale. He's just late on his jump slash, it looks like here. It looks like he has a slightly too shallow angle as well. He doesn't
Yeah, the
look
angle
too
is
far
not
back.
this.
Unfortunately, oh, he has Beetle, so he can logically, so this is actually, well, not really in logic, because it doesn't have scale, but he can logically open Lake Floria here. But that would not help him, because he does not have scale.
Ricky almost getting it.
Once he gets up, he should be okay. I mean, he could just be going to get the statue so that he can come back for Cistern more easily. Which is the only reason I would do it here. His ankle is good here now, I think, as well. I think that early Lake Floria without scale is worth it only when you have Cistern as a required dungeon. Angle looks good. Oh man, it's so close. He's to slash just a tad earlier. 64 leaving here. I believe he's gonna go... Actually, I don't know what he's gonna do here. Looks like he's going to the academy in Skyloft. Presumably he's going... Blame Ricky on giving up there. He just needs to start looking elsewhere in the hopes of finding something. Yeah, so 64 starting a quest out of logic here. Yeah, I believe he will be doing Colin's letter here, and then, or starting Alan's letter and then doing Colin's letter, excuse me. Yes, 64 starting the Colin's letter quest here. And double checking his dungeons. 64 just being thorough and picking up that loose crystal just in case he ends up needing to. It's unlikely that he will, but... A Vanilla Collins letter.
Never seen that before, but it's very interesting. Now we can go do the Karain quest.
Yeah, immediately turning around and doing the quest.
We can see a love triangle here.
I'm wondering what the logical progression the game is looking for here is. Because we know that Pirate Stronghold is blank, and we know that everything in Lanayru that our runners have access to, is blank, except for the first chest in Skipper's Retreat and the first check in, like the time shift stone check in mines. Alright, I'm wondering where Ricky is headed now. Oh, he's trying to land at Boreal again. So if this isn't progression, it's Spiral Charge, okay.
That means that Levias is in logic now.
Yep.
So we'll see if 64 opts to go fight Levias.
I imagine that 64 will not elect to fight Levias right now. I imagine we'll see him go to Thunderhead, but... I guess we could still see progression on Beatrice.
.64 getting some Beatrice conversations in, which is a good idea, because if Beatrice does have something helpful, it can put 64 at a big advantage here over Ricky, if Ricky does not opt to do Beatrice.
Yeah, anything regarding to some of these long checks will always put a runner at an advantage if they get it. I would not say that 64 is at an advantage having done the trial. Simply because the second mitts is not really helpful. I mean, even the first mitts is not helpful at this very moment. Beetle was the first chest in mind, the chest behind the landing platform. So okay, so that chest is not blank, but it doesn't do anything for our runners at this moment. If 64 gets another, like if 64 finds the other beetle here or something like that, then that check becomes extremely relevant because it lets you into the main part of mines. 64 getting 5 more gratitude crystals from Betro.
Looks like Ricky is also getting in some Beatrice conversations.
I'm interested. Did 64 finish Beatrice, or did he just dip?
I don't believe he's finished yet, but
Ah, he's going for the Spiral Charge Rock. Good call, I'd say. Missing both the Spiral Charge and the attempt to clip. And then missing his dive. Unfortunately, it's really easy to have to do things like this. Ricky sleeping in Milara's house is just not great because he gets an extra text box.
Red Rupee from one Spiral Charge Rock.
I'm wondering if we're... Oh, C4 already got the loose crystals here, so I'm wondering if... Ooh, we might see him pick up soup here.
I mean, he's close to the Lumpy Pumpkin, so he might just do Levias.
Yeah, getting soup here is not a bad call. Even if he doesn't want to do Levi's, he can still deliver the soup and just, like, abandon ship in the Thunderhead if he wants to.
He has Goddess Longsword, and neither the bow nor like the true Master Sword, which makes the fight a lot quicker. So it's not gonna be the quickest fight, but
he can still do the strats with like the Skyward Strike strats with Longsword. It's just a lot harder.
yeah, it's possible. But it's much easier with true Master Sword because it's really fast charging up your Skyward Strikes.
Optimally, in the Levi's fight, you use the bow to skip one round of tennis, one round of tennis, one round of hitting back the projectiles back at the eye by hitting the wings and then shooting the eye with an arrow, which is just slightly faster. But then in the last phase where you have to like hit in the correct direction, whenever Biosite is like at the center of the fight, like you can just hit him with a Skyward Strike, and with True Master Sword or with like really precise timing on a regular sword you can just chain Skyward Strikes on him to just instantly, basically just like kill him very, very quickly. Ricky collecting some loose crystals here. I'm not sure how many total crystals he's at. It is at least 25, I know that much.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure he's just gonna try to get 30, and then go get the 2 checks from Boutreau that he can get with 30 crystals.
Which will give him a sword upgrade, but I'm not sure that that's enough for him to kind of get an idea of where the seed wants him to go. 64 having a little bit of trouble finding the trigger for opening the chest. And it's the bomb bag. That is huge. This puts, like, the vast majority of Linearu in logic, as well as the Allen crystals. So now I think the question is, will we see 64 commit to the Thunderhead still, since he has the soup? Or is he gonna completely jump ship and go for, Linearu? And it does look like he's going for Thunderhead.
Including Levias, 64-bit can get 4 checks in the Thunderhead right now.
Yeah. Which is very interesting to see him do this, because this risks having an orphaned check on Din's power here. Or on the Din's power chest.
64-bit jumping straight into the Levi's fight.
He may not elect to do the fight right away. He's just dropping the soup. Because you
Yeah,
can
fair.
go into Isle of Song and get the East Island chest as well. Which it does look like he's going to do. It's very possible that we do see him just complete the fight here. Fire Shield Earrings there is interesting, because that's a supporting item for the Magma Mitts that he got from the trial.
Could mean something helpful or required in Volcano Summit.
Yeah. It's also possible that it's just been filled as a junk item. Or it's just a junk check. And the item is completely unrequired. Did 64 mess up the puzzle here? Yeah, he did. So he dove and reset. It's possible that 64 is using the audio cues to count how many times he's pushing the, 64 is the higher seed here. Ooh, 60, a frame perfect side hop there to skip that little cutscene. And you can see that he was mashing for it because he did get an extra side hop there.
Mashing for it tends to work very well for me, actually.
I agree. Alright, so 64 now has 50 gratitude crystals, so I imagine we'll see him go clean up, but actually I don't think we'll see him do it right away. Ooh, ancient seed chart, that's required. That's very good.
Ancient Seed Chart is what allows the runners to douse for and hit the sand ship, which is a required dungeon, so it's required to enter the sand ship to beat the seed.
Now we'll find out if we get to see 64 doing Levias here. As of now, Ricky still does not have the heart, but he has Troy's courage, so...
Pretty sure he's talked to Oriel and given her the mushroom spores, but I don't think he's ever talked to Pero.
Yeah, I
Who
believe
has the
so as
heart?
well. He hasn't gone back to Skyloft yet. 64 not doing Levias. Definitely not a bad call. I mean, even if Levias does have the Ruby tablet, it's totally possible that he does not need to go there at all. I find that very unlikely given some of the items that we've gotten so far, but it's still a thing that can happen. So 64 will be getting a beetle here. We know that this is a beetle because Ricky checked it earlier. Ricky is heading towards... Maybe he hasn't talked to Oriel yet? Because he has nothing additional that would open checks in Lanayru, as far as I'm aware. Maybe he's just gonna go do this one check.
Has he gone to the actual like main part of Lanayru Desert yet?
He can't. He can't logically reach it. Oh wait, yes he can. He can go backwards through caves. That's what he's doing now.
Yeah.
That's my bad.
But since he doesn't have the hook beetle nor the bomb bag,
Going through mines
doesn't
is
have
not
that many
logic.
checks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, like we said, Ricky heading backwards into, Lanayru here. He can get something like 5 or 6 checks, if I recall correctly, with just claw shots here. More gratitude crystals for 64. Unfortunately now, any gratitude crystals he finds are completely useless. Alright, so Ricky's gonna get a claw shot check here. Getting trolled a little bit with that. Those 5 bombs are absolutely worthless to him.
There's one check open in Fire Node, the shortcut chest, if I remember correctly, which Ricky is skipping.
In his position, I don't think I would skip it personally, but it's certainly a thing he can do.
He
There are
could be
total
waiting until bomb bag.
Yeah. There are a total of 5 checks in Fire Node. Only one of which is available without any items, or with only access to Fire Node. The other 2 more are unlocked with Bomb Bag, and then 2 more are unlocked with Hook Beetle after that. 64 doing a trick known as break sliding, which basically in one frame you go from holding forward on the control stick while sprinting to holding ESS down, which is just outside of the dead zone, and C targeting. And Link kind of shuffles backwards but maintains the forward speed, and you don't lose speed like you would in Sing Sand normally. So, just a fast way to get through the Sing Sand there. Also lets you do some cool skips that we might get to see him do, but he has claw shots, so it's very unlikely. Alright, so Ricky is going to go get the Fire Node check here.
64-bit getting the hook beetle at the end of Linear Mines.
So with that, all of Linearu should be in logic for 64 here. Ricky does not have logical access to mines at the moment. Both beetles in Linearu mine specifically, which is interesting. Bomb bag, so he's losing 4 out of 5 checks here. Barely escaping the chew, just to go back in to die.
.64-bit is collecting the party wheel to return to the Fun Island Man, who is known to have some decent stuff some of the times.
Yeah, for some reason he seems to have decent stuff quite frequently, which is weird. And it happens, but... So I believe we will see 64 full clear Linearu here. Probably in hopes of finding scale? Well, actually, he's looking currently for scale and whip and bow. Okay, well, as well as one more sword upgrade, but... 64 pulling all the right checks here, it feels like. .64 now only needs one more sword for in order to be done with collecting swords. After that, he will need bow, scale, and whip to be in go mode. Since he can finish his required dungeons with those items. More gratitude crystals. Linearu's just really grateful to us today.
Ricky is currently in the Thunderhead and does not have the soup, so unfortunately we will not be seeing Levias. But I don't think he has Spiral Charge either, so he can't get the soup quite yet.
Yeah, he does not have Spiral Charge because he did not get Harp yet. Ooh, 64 messing up the optimal strat here, and his Skyward Strike getting magnetized to the bombs. Which is something I've never seen before.
I've seen Skyward Strikes magnetized to enemies, but never to bombs.
Yeah, that was really strange. Can you even Z-target bombs?
I don't believe so.
I've never had it happen, but... 64 finding a piece of the Earth Temple key here, which is completely worthless. Because the runners will never, ever have to enter the Earth Temple.
Ricky not getting the side hop, but I don't think he went for the side hop at all.
Yeah, it's going versus not going for the side hop really doesn't matter that much.
Yeah, it only saves a few seconds of just not watching the cutscene.
The only thing you need in order to skip the Earth Temple keys is a corrupt file, so you can enter Night Skyloft.
Ricky getting the C chart for Sandship here.
So 64 ended up not actually fully orphaning the last song check in Isle of Song, which is quite interesting, because that may mean that we'll see him go back following Lanayru, assuming he doesn't get anything else. 64 Online Team did not use break slides to cross the Sing's end there. Interesting. Come on, 64. You can do it. Come on. He's trying to hit the time zone with a slingshot seat, obviously. That is... First of all, I've seen anyone attempt to do it from there, which is interesting. But...
Only took like 10 shots.
Good thing he picked up those seeds down the other side of the room. I guess theoretically this is optimal because it cuts out some movement, but the beetle moves so much slower than Link, I wonder if it's even worth it. Oh, then he comes over anyway and does it. And opens the chest. I don't know why he didn't just come over and open the chest.
Ricky still has not talked to Pero.
I'm surprised.
It is 2 free checks. Since he is collecting loose crystals, we might see him stop by Pero's house and get the items there.
So it looks like Fire Note so far has not had anything particularly worthwhile for 64. There are still 2 more chests. His 3rd bottle.
64-bit currently winning the bottle race. .64-bit dying to an Ampulus.
Unfortunate.
It's not too bad because his respawn location is fairly close to where he died.
Yeah, not a big deal, it's just unfortunate. To an ambulance. So 64 is going to be running over to the north side of the desert. I believe he will be getting this chest here. I see no reason for him to not get it.
Interesting route for Ricky. He doesn't have Gust Bellows, so he has to be going up for the crystal up here on this island.
Yeah, I would assume that that is what he's doing as well. I'm curious to... I guess he's going for 50 crystals here?
Yeah, that looks like what he's doing, but there's a much better crystal route than going up to Waterfall Cave. 64-bit getting the Master Sword in the Northeast Desert chest.
Jeez. So 64 is now just his dungeon items away from go mode. It's very possible that we will see a true Master Sword seed here, depending on where the last sword may be. I don't know how many loose crystals Ricky has left, so I'm not even actually sure that he can reach 50 currently. He has access to all of the loose crystals, but committing it to them here seems like...
It looks like he's going to Zelda's room for the loose crystal.
64 playing some pinball with the baby ambulance here. And getting it in that time. Yeah, I do not believe Ricky has done the loose crystals on the Lumpy Pumpkin.
Not too important, Nehru's wisdom.
So we will not be seeing the Nehru trial today.
There's still 2 more trials that we can see, essentially.
Yeah, Ricky got Zelda's heart piece a while ago.
Ricky's going into Pero's house. He might talk to Pero here and get the harp. Hopefully.
If he knows that he can talk to him at night, it looks like he does. So he will get the harp. I guess he got the bottle check already? I don't remember seeing him get the bottle check, but...
64-bit getting Water Dragon scale in the Lightning node, which is required for Ancient Cistern.
Now he is 1 item closer to go mode. He is now missing the key items for both of his dungeons, the whip and the bow for Cistern and Sandship respectively. Like, Floria could have whip. I wonder what we're going to see 64 do here. Wait. $64 is almost out of checks here. I assume that we're gonna see him raise up LMF here to get the chest on top of it.
Ricky is going to Boutro 50 after collecting all those loose crystals.
We have not. Have we seen? We have not seen Betro 50 yet. So
I don't
we will be
believe
seeing a new item here from Ricky's side of the show.
And it's gratitude crystals.
Oh god, sometimes Skyward Sword can be such a troll. Oh wait, that's not 50, never mind. We knew that. 50 is Gus Bellows. Okay. That's a little less evil.
Not required, but, well, it could be required if, like, Malara has something helpful. Because you need the Gus Bellows.
Actually, there is a potential logical requirement for Gus Bellows if the bow is in the first chest in Sandship, the one behind the combination lock, because logic assumes that you have to be able to find the combination, which requires you to either be able to hit the time shift stone or to reveal it with the Gus Bellows by blowing away the sand. Ricky, unfortunately falling off Skyloft there to be rescued by the knight.
Ricky is going to go clean Malara's house for her vanilla crystals, which, well, in vanilla it's crystals, but it's randomized, so we'll see if Malara has anything helpful.
Yeah, Malara could give... I don't know. I'm trying to think what we would, like, what Ricky would love to see here. I mean, he would love to see something like Scale to put, Cistern in logic. Or starting Cistern in logic, but... There's no dust over there, Ricky. Yeah, there could still be a sword on Beatrice. Ricky doing a very thorough job of cleaning the house. Can't say I blame him. One too many times I've missed like one little speck of dust in Rando, or even in a Hundo run I've done that once. So taking his time being thorough. Now to see if all the effort of raising the linear mining facility is worth it. A heart is not terrible. Not required, but not terrible.
It can be very helpful in Horde.
Yeah. That's really the only place it's helpful is Horde. I imagine we see 64 go to Sandsea next. We either see him go to Sandsea or see him dip completely. We can also see him set up a file for Tentaclus skip here, which I would not be against. We'll see in a second. Checking the statue. Were those vanilla granite crystals from Malara?
I was not paying attention, but it did sound
I saw
like
the orange, so I assume they were.
Yeah, it was vanilla crystals.
Yep, alright. 64 is skipping the minecart, which means that he is either not planning to do Tentaclus. Which means he is more than likely not planning to do Tentaclus skip, or is planning to set it up in Elven if he ever reaches Elven.
This can definitely still be a 2-tablet seed.
Oh, yeah,
if
absolutely.
the last 2 items are in Farron or Lineru. But there's not that many checks left. Or Skyloft, of course.
Yeah, there are still 2 bombable wall checks in Farron that could be at either of the 2 requirements. Oof, Ricky missing that skydive, that's just unfortunate.
Motion controls can be a pain sometimes while diving.
Yeah. Yep. I do really feel bad for Ricky. This seed has been pretty mean to him. He's just making like a lot of just, you know, the wrong decisions, and not all of the decisions he's made, you know, were bad decisions. There were some good, there were some bad, you know, but that's the nature of Rando. Unfortunately, he's just getting unlucky with some of his picks. So 64 is dipping from Sansi. Okay. That makes sense. Heart container on the baby rattle in the bird's nest.
Heart container isn't too bad to see because it's helpful for fighting, especially Horde.
Yeah, I'm sure Ricky is grateful to see heart containers. I know that I'm always disappointed when I see heart container, but I'm always thankful for them in the end.
Yeah, I'm not too mad when I see heart containers.
Heart
Unless
pieces
it's like
make me
Beatrice.
mad. But
Yes.
oh my, heart
pieces
container
are
on Beatrice is so depressing.
I've had it twice before.
Getting baby's rattle on 64's screen from the strange man on Fun Fun Island, as Fi would say. Ricky is returning to the academy. I'm not sure what he's looking for here.
Could be doing the Collins letter check, which would get him the what was it that was on
Spiral Charge,
Pivot?
I believe.
Yes, Spiral Charge. Which then leads to Bomb Bag.
Yeah. Unfortunately for Ricky, at this point, 64 has cleared out all of Linearu, so he's just trailing so far behind in that regard. Beetle's Beetle was a gold rupee. Both runners have turned it in.
Looks like we're seeing 64 start Olin crystals, and we
You
could
will be
also
picking
see
up-
him go to Lake Floria.
We'll see him pick up Ulo here, as well as get the 2 bombable wall checks, I imagine. And then head out to... I imagine we'll see him do early Lake Floria here, getting the waterfall statue and then getting the 3 checks backwards. It's not really even early anymore, because it is in logic for him. Oh, okay, Collins' letter had Collins' letter, but Pipit had, Spiral Charge, specifically.
Ricky's reaction showing his shock to seeing Vanilla Collins' letter.
Yeah, no sword on Colin. Did 64 not do the bombable wall checks?
I don't believe so.
This is an odd play from him. 64 is usually a pretty disciplined player when it comes to clearing out areas. So I'm very surprised to see him just dipping on those 2 checks.
I mean, if one of those walls had the whip or something, that would have been very helpful for 64, as he would be able to clear out Ancient Cistern.
64 is still in logic right now. Cistern is, the beginning of Cistern is in logic. Because he has the ability to scale the Great Tree, wake up Yerbil, and then swim. So, he's good.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we will not see 64 pull a Jaznix today. Although, entering without whip is pretty much just the equivalent. Particularly surprised if if 64 does not, or if 64 does not get those bombable rock checks. Eventually.
Ricky now with Spiral Charge, so we'll see if he elects to go straight for the Spiral Charge rocks or does something else. Looks like he's going to do Beatrice, which is definitely an option since he just slept.
We have not seen Beatrice from either runner yet, so...
Yeah, Ricky's fairly close in the dialogue, but not there yet.
I wonder if we'll see him go for it?
Looks like Ricky is going for the Spiral Charge rocks, which means
A
he is
good
going to be getting bomb bag. And then we'll see where he goes from there. .64-bit is now going to Boutreau.
He will be getting the Gust Bellows from here, so we'll see what that does for him. We already know that everything the Gust Bellows unlocks here is not good. Or is not particularly helpful at the moment. Yes, 64 did get this rock because it was the bomb bag. Bomb bag for Ricky opens some, like, 15 checks or something like that. It's huge. You know, you've played a lot of rando and stuff, like, worked on, like, the trackers and the counters and stuff when you know offhand, like, in a certain combination of items, how many checks an item opens. Ricky getting bodied by a tornado there.
Tornadoes are very fun, especially when you're going to the Thunderhead and you only have 2 hearts.
Yeah, in Rando, the Loftwing speed cap is like 4 times higher or something like that. And the spawn distance for tornadoes is not changed. So, you know, they spawn, you know, a couple seconds away from you normally at flying at max Loftwing speed, but flying at rando Loftwing speeds, the tornado spawns and then you're instantly inside of it.
Yeah, it's very difficult to dodge tornadoes on the rando.
Yeah, you have to know where the tornadoes spawn, and even experienced rando players will forget where they spawn. But at least I will. .64 finding bottle number 4.
Ricky's having some issues getting the Spiral Charge rock over here.
Probably because he is not using the B button. But
He used it and then he started swerving a lot.
missing. There are 5 bottles in Skyward Sword. Come on, Ricky. You can do. Oh, come on.
So close.
Meanwhile, 64-bit will be almost done with Beatrice. Alright, Ricky electing to remount here, which will reset his speed. Now it's just to be careful not to gain too much.
And he breaks the rocks. Now he just has to dive onto the.
That's a lot
platform.
easier than anything else, because you can just dive from really high and land. Okay, now he's using his brakes. There we go. 16, we're doing this at night, which normally you would do for crystals, but 64 doesn't need any more crystals.
Yeah, all
Yeah,
that
bow and
64
whip
bit
for
needs
going.
is bow and whip.
Ricky getting bodied again. 64 reminding us that a green rupee in Skyward Sword is indeed worth 1 rupee. Same with a blue rupee being worth 5.
Looks like Ricky is opting to go to Farron before Lineru, so we might see the bombable walls here.
Looks like he's gonna get Bow to the Goddess first. I do not believe we've seen this check. We have not, because Ricky does not have this item, so we could not have possibly seen it. So let's see. The Hylian shield. Oh, but his pouch is full.
Looks like somebody's gonna be seeing Patrice.
Yeah. He still has one more Beatrice conversation, so. Hylian shield is just a nice to have. Since he will be going to talk to Peters, I imagine we will see 64, or if he does elect to go back to talk to Peters again, I imagine that we will see 64 swap out his wooden shield for the Hylian shield, and probably purchase a Guardian Potion as well. 64 has said that he likes to buy the Guardian Potion if he is in the bazaar with a lot of rupees and multiple bottles. Especially given that he has a Peters conversation to do. Very likely.
I'm fairly certain we've seen Hylian shield before in past races.
I'm not sure, actually.
I
It
can't
doesn't
think of
always
any.
show up in races because it can be in a non-progression location. But
Very nice to have, especially if you're not that confident with shield bashing.
yeah. In general, our runners will be fairly confident with shield bashing, but Hylian shield is fine for Lineru. The Hylian shield can block any type of damage. Ooh, so Ricky is going to be doing the bombable wall checks here. He walked past the bombable wall.
I think he sees it now.
Yeah. So it looks like 64 did buy Guardian Potion, which means I predicted that correctly. Did he also trade out for the Highland Shield? I didn't. I was looking at Ricky here.
Yeah, he did.
Part of Song of the Hero for Ricky here.
It's our first part of the Song of the Hero.
Yeah, that's very interesting. It's very late in the race for the first part. Nah, Highland Shield is good for anything. So 64 turning in the Owlend Crystal's quest here. If this is good, it could be very interesting. Since Ricky hasn't even triggered the quest yet.
We've seen Whip on Olin before, so...
Yeah. But it's
a
just a
monster
monster horde. Ricky healing up again. Not quite sure where he's headed right now. Great tree, maybe? No. Trial. Makes sense. Personally, I would have gone to Laneru. Yeah, he's doing trial. He thought about it for a second. Oh, I guess it's the other rock. I forgot about that. Alright, so we will be seeing Peter 64 here.
Getting a good item for Beatrice wouldn't put 64 too far ahead because Ricky is close on Beatrice.
Yeah, it's just a matter of when he chooses to do it. Alright, there's another part of Song of the Hero.
Could be very interesting if Skyloft Realm is required.
Yeah, very, very interesting based on the two placements that we do know. '64 not happy with Beatrice. He is saving here. I'm wondering what he's gonna do. I'm wondering if he's gonna save scum something. Which indicates to me that he's gonna go towards the Thunderhead.
Might do Levias.
I can't imagine save scumming Levias. It just feels bad. But Ricky looking a little confused by the trial. I'm not sure what's happening here for him. He's going to Farron, so I think he's going to save scum the rocks. I see no reason for him to save scum Ancient Cistern. Ricky's gonna be mighty disappointed when he gets a second progressive mitts from the trial here, but alas. The 64 now 2 parts of the Song of the Hero. I wonder if the third is gonna be behind the other bombable rock. So we will not be seeing any save scum action here. claw shotting up just to save a little bit of time there. Nice little thing you do in Rando. Can't really do it in anything else because we never have claw shots. But we're doing that here in vanilla game speedruns. No. So I called it, and then the Song of the Hero is potentially required. So this is gonna be fun.
DJ materializing songs into existence.
64
Again.
is racing, so I have to do it for him, just like he's done it for me, and when we've done it on comms together.
So we'll see if
64 really?
64
Oh, yeah, sorry,
Keep
go
it
ahead. 64 really doesn't have much left in the way of checks, so I imagine we will see him doing this.
Yeah, it is likely that he does Skyloft Realm.
The other things that we could see him do is Levias or the last remaining check in the Thunderhead, but I think it's much more likely that we see the trial here.
He is landing in plazas, so he might be doing it.
Yeah, it's the only reason he would. Can't wait for more crystals.
So we'll see if Beatrice has actually required this seed. If this realm has something.
Ricky being chased by a Watcher in the Silent Realm. Okay. He made it away.
The Watchers that don't give up are so annoying.
Yeah, no, they are relentless. Ricky is
Haven't
missing
chased
a tier. I'm not sure which tier he is missing.
And might actually, yeah, I don't know.
This is the... Ooh, 64 missing Harp Cancel, unfortunately. Oh, the one over the log by the Waking Water? That's a little bit rough.
It's not too far, but yeah, it's unfortunate that he missed it.
There you go. That time he got it. 64-bit is not in Go mode. He does not have the items required to complete either of his dungeons. So he is not in Go mode. So both of our runners in Silent Realms right now. It's not very often that we get to see this, especially two different Silent Realms.
Ricky about to be disappointed.
Yeah, we don't get to listen to Song of the Hero, which is one of the best harp songs in the game. Oh, to be fair, all of the harp songs are pretty good. .64 either missing or electing to not go for a camera manip strat there to avoid having to wait on that cycle. I feel like if this is Bo, that is very, very likely that we see 64 do Levias now. 64 just barely making that cycle. He should be able to make the next Watcher cycle here. Yes, but cutting it very close. Why not who finished Beatrice? Because 64 has finished it. 64 going to be doing the walking on water strat here. things considered, that is very close, because he's supposed to be a lot further there, it looked like. Ricky has not been to Deep Woods yet, interestingly. Since we're getting that clip there first try, the sides of those gates literally just have no collision for some reason. So, like, you can just, like, jump through them. To quite funny effect, all things considered.
We're about to see what Skyloft Realm has. And it's a bottle.
Oh, 64 is not gonna be happy about that.
That's all 5 bottles.
Yeah, 64 does find all 5 bottles, though. He's gonna leave a bot behind, guaranteed. Told ya. Oh, that's so good. So yeah, so I imagine we see him do Levi's and the Din's Power song check now. It's quite interesting though, because he is running out of checks. I'm trying to think what else he has left besides these 2 checks and the like the first check in Cistern and the first check in Sandship, both of which can be either bow or whip. Well, there's the whip. So
we
I
could
don't
see
think
the
we're gonna
bow.
see Levi's here.
Oh, we could see the...
64 is not amused by this scene.
Could have done that check a lot earlier.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm wondering if we see 64 doing the Levi's here. I doubt it, since he is in Cistern mode. 64 is not currently set up for Tentacless Skip, but we could see it still.
Yeah, 64 could definitely do Tentacle Skip on the seed. He just needs to set it up, which isn't too difficult to set up.
Yeah. Tentacle Skip is guaranteed viable on this seed now. Because you cannot reach Tentacle Skip without bow. Red Tentacles without bow, but... Yeah, if he finds bow, he can just push it West Desert. Land it West Desert, push the minecart for the setup. I am wondering why 64 elected to copy an early file. Yeah, in desert, you need to have checked the desert entrance statue as well as pushing the minecart near West Desert to get those two. Alright, 64 immediately finding a small key here pretty fast. In cistern. I feel like that chest has a small key really frequently. Yeah, more than half of the checks in Stanship are in the treasure room, so. So 64 is both small keys here, so I imagine we will see him do the Boko. No, he's gonna gamble on the Boko being the map. Not the worst call, but certainly a call.
We might see him go back to that later, but if he finds the map.
Saving just in case he soft locks on Cistern Clip here. Tendo skip is significantly faster for go mode. Very... Ooh, I shouldn't have said anything. Commentator's curse. We're having a little bit of trouble with the cistern clip the out of bounds movement here. Happens, unfortunately. Clipping back in bounds again.
Yeah, the out of bounds movement is kind of difficult.
Yeah, it is really, really tricky. Ooh, and clipping back in. 64 going for the whip chest, and I'm not really sure I understand why. Because he doesn't need to do that because he has his small keys. So if we wanted to get the whip chest, he could just lower the statue and get it that way. Almost every render runner has like a slightly different set of stuff they do in Ancient Cistern, and I am very heavily convinced that there is an optimal path, and this using 64 did it for the first couple checks, but going to whip here is not the optimal path. I'm like nearly 100% certain. 64 go to the rope, or don't. Okay, he should make it to the whip chest now.
Yeah, he's good.
Oh. This seed is evil.
Looks like this will likely not be the 2-tablet seed we were hoping for.
I mean, he could still just find bows somewhere, but like...
Now that we got Ruby tablet, it's quite unlikely.
Had 64 come here, like, super far out of logic, like... It would have paid off. That is true, because he would have been able to get that check without items. But... shout out to Cubs for rolling one heck of a seed here.
This is a very fun seed. So it looks like 64 is gonna have to either go to the first
Ricky's gonna
small key check,
yeah.
or the Boko.
He's gonna have, because he got the map, right? Or has he gotten the map yet?
He has not gotten the map yet, but those are the only
one
two
of them
checks left.
could be map.
Yeah, or the heart container.
Yeah, unfortunately the heart container can be a map in Skyward Sword right now. 64 not triggering Janin. Looks like 64 is electing to get the small key check first. A reasonable play.
Yeah, I'd say it's faster than going for the Boko right now.
We're getting a bit got there by the motion controls, unfortunately.
Hopefully 64 doesn't pull a me and drown underwater here.
Yeah. I am not sure what Ricky is doing. To be completely honest.
Yeah, he's gotten all the checks that he can get in here without Hook Beetle. Because I don't believe he's gone to the end of mines yet.
Yeah, I do not believe he has
the Hook Beetle.
64 finding the map, unfortunately.
Yeah, so it looks like the Boko has the boss key.
Oh, he doesn't have boss key yet. True. I hadn't paid attention to that. I do love the animation, or like the position that the Deku Babas get put into when you shield bash them. Maybe map.
Looks like Ricky's trying to get the baby Ampulus up, which he cannot do because the crate is not large or isn't tall enough.
Yeah, he cannot do that. He has a tracker, so
Yeah.
he should know that he can't do this trick.
Hook beetle is required, and there's no way around that for the fire node.
Yeah, unfortunately. Please turn around, Ricky. Ricky, turn around. Ricky, please.
Oh no.
Oh, Ricky. 64 doing a cool little strat here where you could, like, see up and look at the thing and then Z-target the whip switch and then Z-target it. Yes, boss key is still needed with Tentacle Skip. So Z4 has Master Sword here, so he will have multiple ways, and Bomb, so he will have multiple ways to one-cycle the first phase of Tentalis. Did I say the wrong boss? I meant Galactos. Galactos.
Not too much of a difference. One's just an ancient robot, and one's a giant underwater.
Tentacle monster.
Yes, exactly.
So is more trying to get deaded? Trying to get killed into the water there to get a faster death animation. It did not work out for him though.
Ricky, please just leave the node.
Ricky, I'm begging you, please. This cannot be done. Take
Oh,
our
no.
energy, Ricky. Ricky, no! I don't understand why he's trying to do this. Oh, and then he gets bodied.
– 64-bit, not side hopping off the statue this time.
Yeah, 64 once accidentally side hopped off the statue, like between when he triggered the last pulled the last whip switch and then and the cutscene starting and then was not there at all. Ricky doing Jasmine strats. If Ricky manages to figure out how to do this, like, it's a huge deal, for the record.
I tried it once, and
Yeah, it doesn't work. People have tried this for ages. Because it would be significantly faster. It wouldn't actually be that much faster. Ooh, 64 only got one arm off there, I think. No, never mind. Wait. Yeah, I think he did. I'm not really sure what's happening in 64's fight. It just looks weird for some reason. Yeah, okay. Okay. Okay, Ricky has finally given up on that.
Thank you, Ricky.
Thank you for taking our energy, Ricky. Yeah, Master Sword, 2 spin attacks, 1 cycles Galactus. So you can do that without bombs. Which actually comes up in random somewhat frequently. Believe it or not. You know, we always joke about how, like, swords are so hard to find in SSR, because they don't unlock much. But it comes up surprisingly frequently that you have, like, Master Sword in Ancient Cistern fighting Galactus without bombs, which is a stupid thing to have happen. Uh-oh. 64 is too close here. Oh, no. 64 failing to 1-cycle Coloctos here. And now entering the monk-ass part of the fight. Oh, he has a heart medal. He can get hearts if he needs it. 64 hoping that he will...
Hopefully.
Oh, he's summoning the cursed Bokos. That is the worst thing he can do. 64 in a very, very bad spot now.
I'm getting bodied by Galactos.
Yeah, Ricky just got Master Sword. So our runners have gotten the same 3 swords, so I wonder where the last sword could be. He's gonna get hit there. No, just barely not getting hit. We're having trouble. Okay.
He's good.
Yeah, it's way more likely that it's in Elden than it being vanilla.
It could also be Levias. We haven't seen Levias yet.
Yeah, that's 1 check compared to the 5, 15, 17 checks in Elden. Why is there's not a 0% chance of it being in Elden? Oh, okay. Yeah, 64 just needs the bow. I don't know. That's a very good question. So, if the bow is the first chest in Sandship, that is a huge gamble to take. I have seen it before, and we will see it again at some point. Maybe not in the tourney, but we will. It will happen.
Eldenor on the Goddess Longsword check. That's a sign to go to Elden.
Yeah, that's true. I would agree with that assessment right there. 10 out of 10 assessment.
We have yet to see Din's power, so it'd be very interesting to see the bow on the Elden Silent Realm.
Yeah, that would certainly be an interesting place for it to be.
Looks like 64 is electing to go to Elden right now.
Definitely the safer call here.
For sure.
The 500 IQ strat would be to check the 1 check in Elden, but excuse me, Sandship.
Ricky happy to see Water Dragon scale.
Yeah, I imagine that he would be. I wonder if Ricky is going to dip out of Lineru, or if he will continue the quest to full clear, and 64 finds the True Master Sword. So we are the true hero of the skies with True Master Sword and Hylian Shield this seed. And very likely that Ricky will find both as well. We are running out of progression items to be given at this point, so most things are junk that remain. We have Din's power and the bow remaining as progression items. Everything else has been given, or has been found, rather, I should say. A bow on useful Din's power would be insane. Actually, I think there are still 2 gratitude packs left, now that I think about it. Actually, I think 64 has 65 gratitude crystals, so I think he may have, 1 less pack than I thought.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how many packs have been found so far. Ricky is heading back to mines, it looks like. So he will be finding the hook beetle shortly if he does go back to mines.
It'd be interesting to see him go backwards through mines here. I assume he knows that he can. Yeah, 64 has 71 gratitude crystals, so there's either 0 or 1 gratitude crystal packs left in the pool. Yeah, Ricky does not know that he can. I do not think he knows that he can. But yeah, he does not know that you can. You can actually go backwards through there by rolling a bomb very quickly into the minecart and then spin attacking to blow it up. I'm wondering where Din's is. 64 may end up last locationing the bow to Sandship if it is there. Actually, I should say, if it is in Sandship, he will last location it. Because now that he has True Master Sword, there's no reason for him to not do Mabias anymore.
Ricky missing Fun Fun Island.
Happens, unfortunately. Every check that we get that's not bow brings us one step closer to the closest thing to a vanilla bow that we can have.
A vanilla bow would be very, very interesting.
You can't have a vanilla bow, unfortunately. You need both small keys in order to get to the bow chest in
yes.
And there's only one chest that's accessible without the bow. Something similar happens with Whip, actually.
Well, at least close to vanilla bow. We can have the one chest open.
In the small key chest. Which is what we shall call the vanilla bow from. Oh yeah, 64 has already talked to iDude. So he will be picking up the party wheel. My god, the crystal ball on his way here. He sanity vanilla bow. Yeah, that is a thing that happens. 64 getting circles here. So 64 winning on in the swag meter here.
The swag meter determines the true winner of the race.
64 saving and quitting here. Okay, he's setting up for Tentos.
Yeah.
I guess he doesn't know which, because he can make a better setup here. There's a, he has the flag now to get into Betro, I'm, like, 99% sure, as well. To get, like, both the shed and Betro's door open. But he can also get the flag for the cursed metal chest being spawned in Betro's house in Eldena. So I'm assuming he doesn't know that there. Yeah, that flag is is slingshotting a rupee in, like, one of the gems in Thrill Digger. This setup doesn't... Oh, wait, this setup... we use the Elden setup in all dungeons. In vanilla all dungeons runs. Which means that, we actually have the ability to dive and call our Loftwing there. So we actually can, just dive directly to Betro. We don't actually get the shed flag. Although I think the shed flag is accessible on Elden. I don't know what it is offhand, though. $64 has some cold pumpkin soup in his inventory.
It would be very interesting to see a required Din's power on the open check in Sandship, and then Elden Silent Realm being the bow.
That'd be insane.
The chance of that is very low, but
that is so incredibly low, unfortunately.
I mean, it is possible. And then we'd have a very interesting interview about that.
Yeah. Thankfully, I didn't roll the seed this time, so I can't be yelled at. For once, it's not my fault. Every check I have, like, I get nervous. Is it bow? I don't want it to be bow. I want it to be a vanilla, like the French vanilla bow. So
that would be very
neither trial that our runners have done so far have been required. That we've seen done were actually required.
So yeah, Fair and Silent Realm was not required because the only check that was opened by Magma Mitts was a silver rupee.
I would like to see a potential future version of the Rando where, like, Bokoblin base is in Rando, and we have to use, I guess even in Boko base, if we have our items, you wouldn't have to use Magma Mitts, but theoretically you could, have more Magma Mitts required checks if Boko base is randomized. I want more stuff from Song of the Hero to be randomized. We're working, like, stuff that's being worked on, or will be worked on eventually, is definitely Gorge. Because Life Tree Seedling and stuff like that can be randomized.
Tad Tones would also be fun, even though I kind of hate doing Tad Tones in vanilla speedruns.
Yeah, attack domes would be so incredibly slow. 64 missing the air vent here twice. That is also not the bow. Oh no, Ricky's probably gonna get baited into doing the Skyloft trial, this means, since he is currently working on Beatrice.
Yes, he is about to finish Beatrice, and then he'll probably end up doing Skyloft Silent Realm.
He has like 4 more Elden checks, I believe. Plus 1 on Skyloft from Elden.
And then there is still Levias left.
Yeah, and then after that it's French-ish vanilla. French vanilla-ish bow. This is so important because the bow could be like anywhere. This is a brutal seed. Great to watch.
Yeah, very fun to watch.
This, I would hate to run this seed. This seed would make me very, very upset. I'm upset for our runners as a fellow runner, but as like a commentator and a spectator, this seed is phenomenal. Oh, as you can see, this is way more consistent, actually. So 64 using a much more consistent version of that strat. You can also just throw the bomb, but that's consistent. So I wish the bow could be vanilla. What?
I wish it could be as well. That would be awesome.
Ricky is about to be baited by Song of the Hero.
Oh no, Ricky.
Oh, this power's not important.
No Silent Realm in Elden today. We did get to see 2 Silent Realms though, so that's good.
Yep. We're not quite out of checks yet. There are 2 digging spots remaining in Elden.
A red rupee. One
So many
digging
red
spot
rupees in
left. We haven't seen anything useful in Elden, but that's expected. Or we did see the True Master Sword.
A completely blank Elden. Oh, okay, actually, yeah, True Master Sword. But
Does that mean that this is a 2-tablet seed? Unless Barrett has the bow.
if Spirit does not have the bow, this is a 2-tablet seed hiding inside a 3-tablet seed. Oh no, no one has done skippers yet. I forgot about that.
Ah, yeah.
So no one has done skippers yet. Everyone forgetting about skippers because it's so bad in rando. No one likes skippers in rando.
Wait, has anyone found the tumbleweed actually? I don't remember.
No, I don't think so. The Elden Silent Realm was hinted to be not required.
Oh no, Ricky's doing
Ricky's
Skyloft
being
Realm.
baited. Alright, so we're gonna see Levias now. I'm surprised that he's not delivering the crystal ball first. If this is the bow, 64 has spent like an hour out of go mode that he could have been in go mode. 64 having some trouble finding Levias here.
With
I really don't want this to be Bo just because I want this seed to be as awful as possible as a viewer.
Exactly.
The more the runners suffer, the better viewing experience we get. Also, I want to see 64 leave a bomb behind. Again. Genuinely, if this is anything other than Bo, actually, if this is Bo, 64 leaves the bomb behind, otherwise he's just running away. Pulling out the Gus Bows because I think he wanted to pull out Bo, but he doesn't have it.
Air strats on Levias.
So we will get to see the True Master Sword strats here. The one he summoned 2 hours ago and has been rampaging since.
Missing the Skyward Strike, unfortunately, for 64-bit.
Yeah, so he loses his, his lock here. Let's see if we can... Okay, he's retained it. Come on. Okay.
And there
Very
you
good
go.
from 64.
Ricky is not getting the tier on top of the Knight Academy. I've made that mistake a few
yeah, I guess
times.
he either doesn't know about it or forgot about it.
Yeah, playing casually, and when I started speedrunning, I forgot that tier quite a few times, just because it's so hard to see. The bow.
Levias was Bo.
Go French vanilla bow.
64 not leaving a bomb behind, unfortunately. 64 calling 5 just so that she can remind us that our wallet is indeed full. This was a 2-tablet seed masquerading as a 3-tablet.
I believe that's the first 2-tablet seed of the tournament.
Yeah, I believe so too. Unfortunately, this isn't an actual 2-tablet since our runners did go and get the last sword, but we will call it a 2-tablet because it is the closest we've gotten so far.
Ricky almost walking into the waking water there, but was able to dodge it. I guess 64 is just not super mad about Levias with the bow. So he just decided to be nice to Levias and not leave a bomb.
Ooh, Ricky getting hit by the Watcher.
Little does he know that this Silent Realm isn't even required.
Yeah. Skyward has lost the sand chip. And he has now found it again. Yeah. Ricky is not gonna be happy about this.
Oh no, Ricky, there was a tier up there, but he ran the opposite way.
Ricky's probably
I don't know
gonna
where.
get caught here again.
Yeah, probably.
I guess he has the
Or
one by
actually,
the gate.
yeah, there is one right over there. So yeah, Ricky's fine.
Fortunately. So 64 is going to be hoping for an early boss key so we can just do Tento's RBM. Tento's skip, I presume. Well, I guess he's probably hoping for an early boss key regardless, but...
Yeah, he got the file set up in Elden, so he's good for that.
Yeah, he has a 4 file in Elden for the... The problem with this is that he doesn't have a way into the shed as far as I know, so he has to do the night bit, which is just a little slow, but... It's more than adequate. Still significantly faster than doing Tento's. Which is so extremely slow. Like, it is like painfully, dreadfully slow.
Yeah, Tantalus is by far the longest boss fight.
Yeah, because there's just no speed strats. It's a hit-based boss and there's no strats for it. I assume he checked West Desert in case he wanted to re-land at it, and in case he didn't get the Elden tablet. Okay, okay, yeah, go fast. Thank you, Zeldex. What a good strat, go fast. There is actually one minor strat for it, where you can skip part of the, 64 side hopping off of the mast. I believe he will just get put back up, yeah.
I've done that multiple times.
Yeah, no.
You're trying
The
to grab
absolute
on.
5-head strat of just go fast. Mast skip without bombs from the mast. 5-head. We're having some issues with his aiming here.
Aiming is hard in this game.
Not if you're good.
Oh, that's fair.
64 is usually pretty good with his aim, so I don't know what's up with him. Nerves, maybe? Anger?
Probably both.
The sheer seething hatred of this seed coursing through his veins?
Oh no, Ricky. I think there's the Light Tower tier and the tier at the Night Academy.
Oh, he got hit by through the ground. That's so hard. Or so bad.
Doing all this work for a bottle. Very unfortunate.
I see what 64 got from that, but I'm assuming it's not the boss key.
There was a small key.
There's an option to change the pointer sensitivity in this game? the Wii. I've never touched that option personally. I don't think that would affect this game because this game doesn't use the pointer. It uses gyroscope for the pointer.
Ricky doing a weird route for the Skyloft realm, but I guess he's getting the more difficult part out of the way first, which makes sense. Vanilla dungeon map in Sandship. You hate to see the dungeon map.
Severe issues with his aiming today.
I'm really looking forward to Ricky's reaction after completing the realm. .64 killing the keys and hitting the switch. Very efficient. Two birds with one stone, as they say. I think Ricky just realizing which tier he missed. RBM, the Earth Temple opened to do Tental Escape. I guess, yeah, an Earth Temple Sandship Seed, that would be a good play. Come on, Ricky, you can do it. Bunker. Still no boss key for 64. Unfortunately, Ricky almost getting caught there. He doesn't know how many times you have to push this box. It's only 3. Five tiers left.
He's so close. He can do it.
Oh, they're all right there. He's fine.
Yeah,
Unless he gets caught by this lantern guy. Or on the light tower, which is really annoying.
Light tower you can deal with, is just not a good situation to be in.
Yeah, you have to wait for the watcher cycle.
Ricky getting caught there. Hopefully he will be okay. Yes. He is okay.
Looks like Ricky has a good watcher cycle, so he'll be fine.
Yeah, he'll be okay here. It looks like.
Ricky finally completing the Silent Realm.
$64 should be entering the treasure room here shortly. Just, Ricky, just go.
Alright, he went. That's
You just
over.
gotta jump feet first. He's not gonna be happy. He's gonna be so unhappy. I'm so sorry, Ricky. I'm so sorry.
Oh no.
Oh, Ricky.
Poor Ricky.
Poor Ricky. I feel so bad for him.
Well, hey, at least he doesn't lose the bottle race.
He did get all the bottles, which is really what matters. 64 is still not finding the boss key. Oh,
3 chests left.
bluebird feather.
A key.
K-E-Y key. Heart piece. Or piece of heart.
Chest. Red ruby.
Vanilla, so boss key's either in the brig vanilla or on, so we have a vanilla small key, so it's either vanilla, we have a vanilla small key in the brig, so there's either the boss key's either vanilla or on Skirvo.
Did he
I'm quite
check
surprised we didn't
combination
see
lock?
him. Oh, combo lock, true, my bad. I am quite surprised that we haven't seen him save scum the key though. Oh no, 64's about to get squished! We're trying to whip the switch. You actually have to whip the switch from, like, you have to whip from, like, a down to up move with a down to up motion to actually grab that.
And you don't even need to whip the switch.
Yeah, I assume he might be going back out the other way. Unless
Oh yeah, unless you death
he
warp.
could death warp, it's just kind of slow.
Yeah, death warp with 10 hearts is not ideal. There's the boss key.
Okay, wait. Oh, so so we do have a vanilla small key, just not the one I thought it was. So that means that 64 is in full go mode. He will be performing Tentacle Skip, presumably.
Most likely if he has the file set up for it.
$64 does not have the bug net. No one has the bug net. Only Jasnix gets the bug net because he's strange. Alright, 64 is stocking up on arrows, so I don't think we will be seeing Tentacle Skip.
Ricky getting the whip, but I don't know if he'll be doing Levias. He does have the soup, but honestly, now that
I
he got the
don't
whip,
know.
he probably will not. He'll probably just go straight to Ancient Cistern like 64-bit did. Oh, it looks like he will be doing the Tentacle Skip.
Oh, okay.
He's dying.
I guess maybe he was just getting arrows for the escape.
Yeah, it could be why.
So we get to see our first instance of back in time throughout the entire run. So get ready for a whirlwind explanation, chat. The Technoblin did like nothing after the first hit because of AI, I guess. I don't know. So 64 is going to copy his file here in bit so he can make a corrupt file. He needs a corrupt file in order to access the nighttime Skyloft map without crashing in back in time, because back in time likes to crash. You make a corrupt file by deleting your save file and then saving it at a bird statue. While in back in time. Back in time is performed by dying and then continuing and resetting on your console, either via the console button or the home menu. So, with this 64, we'll be heading across the river and sleeping in the item seller's house in order to sleep tonight, where he will come out and then push the grave in order to open the shed. Runners need 64-bit is in go mode. He needs no more items. Yeah, Ricky is just bow away from go mode at this point.
Although he's probably going to get baited by the Ruby tablet, just like 64.
Very likely. He's jump slashing. He's too far back and he's jump slashing too late. So now 64, be very careful about how he enters here. Entering with that file, which has Ricky getting fence hop, finally. So that he has 30 crystals and then is able to get in because that file saved in Elden, which has the flag for the door being open. I now have to sit through all of the text triggers here. Yeah, it was 81 gratitude crystals. Just like a regular hundo run. Except now he has 86, which is just weird. Oh god, he's gonna go through all of the rewards. We're gonna get to find out what's on Petro 70 and 80 here.
Red rupee. And a heart container.
A vanilla-ish wallet. I mean, it is a vanilla wallet. There is a wallet there normally. But...
Now we get to watch the transformation from demon to human.
Except 64's
really
Files Collect is blocking it, thankfully, for us, so we don't have to scar our eyes. This is so slow.
It's still faster than Tantalus, though.
It's so true.
You have some difficulty getting into Ancient Cistern. Swimming is hard in this game.
That felt like it was faster, still flow. Tendrils is so slow. Tendrils is like 3 minutes without cutscenes. The record for Tendrils. Take that and add like 30 seconds of cutscenes, and that's like the maximum time you can spend on Tendrils skip and have it be not be faster anymore. Unfortunately, Tendrils skip does not skip this segment, but 64 is the true Master Sword, so it's actually fastest to use Skyward Strikes here rather than a bow. So I'm still not sure why he grabbed a bow ammo. I mean, I thought the escape sequence was really cool, but the boss was really underwhelming. I guess maybe 64 stocked up in the odd event that he, like, fails the, skip. Or habit, yeah, habit is a fair guess. Tantalus is not best boy. I'm gonna have to disagree with you.
Tantalus is a cool fight in casual, but it's just not cool in speedruns because it takes
Even casually, it's not even that great of a fight. It's just a really generic boss fight.
Yeah, Tantalus is now dead.
Or did he actually get the potion medal there? Because if he got the potion medal there, that's just really nice for him because he has a guardian potion.
Yeah, he did get the potion medal, so helpful. So we will now see 64-bit hotting the spile.
So 64 now entering the end game. And he will be hotting the spile. Pick up a fairy here. Oh, actually picking up the fairy, unfortunately. But
he can always get one after the in-prison fight. And with 12 hearts and a guardian potion, he's not gonna need more than one fairy. Hopefully.
yeah, he should not need. I mean, with True Master Sword, Hylian Shield, 12 hearts, he should not even need the guardian potion. Yes, everyone who wants to get into this tourney is required to watch Jatsnix versus Harmjan's match. An actually insane match. Literally just because of memes. But it is a match that will go down in history. Ricky getting the, that switch trick there. Very nice. Give people homework.
.64-bit not quick enough with the cutting of the fingers, and
yeah, so he will not get a perfect fight here, but he should still be able to get a. She should be able to land on the head and hot the spile pretty easily here. It's right, left, fourth text box. Very nice.
Nice jump slash.
One hot spile coming right up. Make that 2. Ooh, come on. Okay. 64
very complete.
Hotting the spile very nicely. with a great kebab nonetheless.
On Ricky's side, he's about to get the boss key in Ancient Cistern from the Boko.
Unfortunately, he's not in go mode, so this doesn't really do much for him.
Yeah, he still does need the bow.
If he was on go mode, he'd be able to pick up some time against 64 here, but... Unless he's done all the other checks, I'm not actually sure. If you listen closely, you can hear Groose in the background of 64's audio.
Poor Groose. He made the Groosinator and we didn't even use it.
You didn't even listen to his explanation about it.
Poor Groose.
4 Spiles Hotten. Consider the Spile Hotted.
Ricky not jump slashing after the clip, cistern clip.
There we go.
I got it that time.
Spile's so hot it left burn marks in the ground. It just injected boiling hot plasma into the ground. Wasn't even adjacent to the Spile. Alright, so 64 is gonna pick up a fairy now, presumably. And we'll be now opening the Gate of Time and entering the Horde. Step 2 of the 4-step ending of this randomizer.
Ricky clips back inbounds after the cistern clip.
And just drowns, presumably in frustration or just weirdness. I'm not quite sure.
I don't know, he might just be death warping back to the statue.
I don't actually think that would be faster in this case, but yeah. Also a possibility. Alright, 64 saving, just in case something goes wrong in Horde. But 12 hearts, True Master Sword, a Guardian Potion, and a Fairy, and the Potion Medal to boot, he should be fine. Oh, he doesn't have the medal, never mind then. I thought I didn't see the text, so... $64 looking fine here, so far. I would be surprised if 64 suffers here. He has practiced Horde a lot. Taking one hit, unfortunately. Oh, and a heart medal.
I love when the game stops you in the middle of the fight to tell you that you got a heart. Ricky soft locking here during the cistern clip, unfortunately.
He did save, right?
I am pretty sure he saved. Because he did respawn right into the statue.
Yeah, he is saving the system.
Missed horde skip by 64.
Oh, dang. I wasn't even watching his horde skip. I was watching Ricky with, Cistern Clip. Ricky is trying to use Cistern Clip to get out of bounds in order to reach a check more easily and faster. He looks good.
64, but wasn't close enough to the wall.
It's faster to use Cistern Clip.
64-bit just hit the blue bokoblin off the side of the, hit him through the wall off the side, which kills him immediately.
To be fair, in Ricky's defense, this movement is not easy.
Yeah, the out-of-bounds
As
movement is
as
very
we saw
difficult.
earlier, 64 struggled with it a little bit too. So Ricky's just taking it slow.
We could actually see Ricky just straight up skip whip chest, which would be a bad call with his knowledge, but overall it's a good call because it would give him the Elfin tablet, which
Yeah, it would be a
probably bait him.
fantastic call overall.
Yeah, if he doesn't have to go to Elden, that would like make him so much faster. Since we know that Elden is useless other than TMS, which isn't required.
Appreciate TMS though.
It is very nice to have. .64-bit now in the Girahim 3 fight.
.64's Guardian Potion about to run out.
Serenade.
Taking his fairy and not serenading Girahim 3 with the harp. Guardian Potion halves the amount of damage you take. Okay. Now he is serenaded to Girahim 3.
Oh no,
shoot, not the
Ricky.
fairy. .64 has serenaded G3 and Rip Ricky. Although of note, Ricky doing the optimal strats for this dungeon, like optimal routing.
I
The
think he
problem
went
is
for
that getting
whip
baited
check
is
initially.
objectively the correct play with his knowledge.
Yeah. But with our knowledge, it's not.
Yeah, we
a
know it's
play.
not, but... Ricky is backwards, buddy. That's upside down. You got it. You got it. Come on, come on, come on. Okay.
There you go.
To be fair, as a kid, like when I was younger, I used to do the same thing with that.
Boss keys were so hard casually.
Rando has taught me more about optimal boss key turns than any other than like actually doing speedruns has. Except for the H in Skyview, that one I've always known. I only recently learned what the optimal thing for LMF is, and I don't know how to describe it, I just do it.
I just do LMF until I get it. I really don't know how to do it optimally.
Yeah, it's like... I don't even know anymore what it is, to be totally honest. It's just one of those things you just kind of do.
Clean first phase of Demise for 64-bit.
Yeah, very clean. Demise is a very scripted fight in speedruns, thankfully. Well, thankfully. I say
Very
thankfully.
quick and easy fight.
64 lets me use shield strats. And 64 is
GG's.
officially done. GG's. Official time of 3:11:22 for this. And Ricky does forfeit. Some random kid enters your realm and absolutely demolishes you. That's so true. Yeah, Ricky never found the bow. Yeah, poor Ricky. This seed was brutally mean, unfortunately. I believe we now have both runners.
Hello.
Hey, Ricky. Hey, 64.
Huh.
I absolutely hate this seed. 2, I feel like I played like utter trash.
Please,
Well, I mean,
please,
Like
please,
the mid game.
please send all your regards in regards to the seed to Caps rule. I might be restreaming this, but I didn't roll it. We have this talk a lot in OOTR. Ricky would know.
yeah, I hear all about OTR. I mean, I don't know how bad the seed was per se. I kept making bad call after bad call, so you know.
Yeah, it was really unfortunate. Your
Happens.
calls were reasonable, but they weren't, like, you just got unlucky a lot.
Yeah.
I feel like that goes for both of us though. Or I have like no idea what Ricky's routing was, but like for me, like I did a completely unnecessary full clear of Eldin. And then I went back to Thunderhead to do the Levias that I had put off because
yeah.
I'm like, oh, well, I found Whip in Thunderhead. Okay, so I'm going to go clear Cistern now.
Yeah, I made that same play, yeah.
And then I go back, I do Levias, and it's Bow.
Yeah.
Are you
Bowen
serious? That's where Bo was?
Yes.
Oh.
Yep. So this
Oh,
was
that's
actually a 2-tablet
mean.
seed.
That's
Yeah,
mean.
This was a secret 2-tablet seed.
Yeah, it should have been a 2-tablet seed if I wasn't dumb.
I mean,
Oh.
to be fair, putting off Levias isn't dumb.
Yeah, it feels dumb though. Like
You feel vindicated anytime there isn't something on Levias, but every time there is, you just feel like a total idiot.
And I mean, plus, when you have all a Cistern to clear, of course you go to Ancient Cistern when it's a required dungeon, because why wouldn't the bow be there? Ay, ay, ay. I was so mad when I got Elden Tablet. I was like, come on.
yeah, it was. Yeah, it was that. Then I proceeded to, I don't know, like my execution in Cistern was terrible. I like had another catastrophic failure of Cistern clip. I mean, I guess I didn't soft lock, but
Well, I soft locked. but then again, in my defense, I learned it yesterday. So, you know.
I mean, even to be totally honest, like people, like I still soft lock sometimes in Cistern clips. So, you know, it's just a thing that happens.
Yeah, and then in the Coloctos fight, I could not get a Skyward Strike for some reason, so I wound up having to do an extra cycle.
Yeah, that was a little bit painful to watch because it looked like you were having a real bad time with that.
Yeah, I mean, I got through it, thankfully, but it was rough, and I was just like... I just had the back of my mind, like, if Ricky did better routing than me, he very well could have put himself into the lead.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of what I was trying to do with the gambles I made, because my execution is not up to snuff yet, but yeah, that didn't happen.
Yeah, this was a mean seed in general, and, like, gambles didn't pay off on this seed. The only gamble that would have realistically paid off was Levias.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, if you put off Levias, there will be an important item on him. If you go
don't,
and rush Levias,
there's nothing.
it will be a monster horn.
It's
Yeah,
either that
yeah.
or it's progression that dead ends. It leads you on a wild goose chase.
Yeah, or the wild goose chase.
Yeah, wild goose chase. Those are always awful. Wild progression chases. Speaking of wild goose chase progression items, how about those 2 trials?
I don't even want to talk about that.
Oh, you did the trials too? Okay, good. I'm not the only one who went through that garbage.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I guess I was just thinking I guess early on in the seed, I was just thinking, well, I mean, I can, at this point, I do feel like I can full clear the seed faster than Ricky. I mean, no offense to Ricky.
Oh yeah. Oh no offense taken whatsoever. I've been playing this thing for 3 weeks, so yeah, come on. Yeah, no offense.
But yeah, I'm just that was kind of what was going on in the back of my mind. So I'm like, okay, I might as well do those kind of things. Which then, of course, that by that logic, I should have done Levias earlier, but we'll put that one aside.
Who wants to do Levias?
No one wants to do Levias. At least trials can be fun.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was.
my.
Yeah, well. At least, both of us could feel vindicated by complaining about the seed.
The 64, I was very surprised when you didn't bomb Levias on your way out.
I think I was worried about my bomb count. Actually,
Okay.
no, I think my bomb count was fine, but, and I didn't really need bombs in Sandship, but, yeah.
Yeah.
At least I got to do Tentala Skip,
Yeah,
and
you did.
I also got to make Betro human in Back in Time.
Yeah, that was fun. You also ended with 91 crystals or something at the end of that bit?
Something like that. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, my Betro had there were at least 3 gratitude packs on Betro. It was nuts.
Oh yeah, I was so mad when I wasted all that time. I messed up the routing for collecting the standalone gratitude crystals, and then he just gives me the number I needed to hit the 50. I was like, oh, you brat.
That happens way too often. Because every time you gamble on it being you go in to Betro with 45 crystals, hoping that 40 is 5 crystals and 50 is something. 40 is a monster horn or something like that, and you're like, well, guess I lose.
Yeah, well, I was when I got the gratitude crystals on 30, I'm like, please don't let the cursed metal chest be a crystal again.
Yeah. I mean, crystal on 30 and cursed metal crystal would have made you have 40, which at least you can get the check.
Yeah, I mean, fair. It just feels dumb when that happens.
And to be fair, orphaning 50 feels bad as well.
Yeah. But it was just I had basically Farron full cleared, Eldon full cleared, Skyloft basically full cleared.
Yeah,
And
you had,
basically the only place I didn't clear was Sandsea.
Yeah, Ricky went to Sandsea right off the bat, which I thought was a very interesting call. I was really hoping it would pay off for him.
Yeah, that was a major game. I went to, because I get the Lineru tablet, so I went straight to Lineru, and then tried out that shortcut that I learned about yesterday. And my plan was to just go into Lineru Desert itself from the back way, but I figured, I could do Pilot's Fortress, might as well do that. Maybe it'll pay off like it often does for everyone else I've seen racing this thing. And no, absolute garbage.
Yeah, for once, Stronghold was garbage. We actually completely forgot that Skipper's Retreat existed at the very end of the scene when we were talking about where Bo could be. We were we're reaching the point where we're gonna have Bo in Sandship. Which we were all excited to see 64 last location Bo to Sandship, but
We were kind of hoping for French Vanilla's bow.
Yeah, I was probably, if Bo was not on Levias, I think I was gonna dip Sandship just to defend against that possibility.
Why didn't you return the crystal ball before going to I guess the Thunderhead is closer than Skyloft for.
That was my thought.
for
Was
Melvin.
the Thunderhead's closer? It's like path length wise, the Thunderhead is closer to the Elden Pillar than it is to
Yeah.
Skyloft. So,
Okay.
yeah, okay. So then I was gonna return the Crystal Ball, and then I was gonna go to Sandsea, dip Sandship to make sure that the bow wasn't just sitting there, and then like clear the rest of Sandsea.
Actually, seeing someone do a Sandship dip for that would have been insane.
I mean, there were very few possibilities left.
One thing someone in chat suggested at the very end, like when we were there, was like required dins on that chest in Sandship with bow on Elden Trial, which would have been so
awesome.
painful.
Yeah, that is the evil stuff that only Twitch chat can come up with.
Yeah, that is the evil of Twitch chat Plando. I feel like we always say, like, you know, oh, we found the worst thing you can find for a Plando. And then Twitch chat's like, hold up, I got you.
You're right. Hold my beer.
Let me one-up you right here.
Alright. That everything?
I think so.
Yep.
Anyone got anything?
64-bit.
A good
GG.
race.
GG.
Just making sure, just reminding the chat if you have any questions from your end, just put them in chat. Commentators and everyone else can relay those to the runners. But yeah, that was a good race. I don't know much about SSR, but from what I've heard from the comments, was pretty entertaining. Yeah. With that being said, I believe that is, well, technically it's the end of program for today for Caesar, because the next thing, well, it happens in a couple of hours, is, I think everyone agrees it's gonna be Monday. Well, actually, I guess in Pacific time it might still be like just barely like midnight. But that's next broadcast will be the Twilight Princess Any Percent tournament. Will be Cactus vs Dean Machine. That'll be happening in, let me just double check, 4.5 hours on this exact channel. Should also be pretty awesome. I believe that is the first restream of the Twilight Princess tournament, because I think the earlier one had to be called off due to some volunteer scheduling.
Yeah, but yeah,
Yep.
Definitely be streaming this one.
Yep. Also, in case you like your randomizers, we also got an OTR tournament match coming up at 6 p.m. Eastern, or, well, midnight CET tomorrow. That'll be Losers Bracket Round 3. Riley versus Phoenix Fit. That should be a really good match, knowing these two people have free streamed them doing weeklies before doing tournaments. That should be an awesome match. So, if you like your randomizers, especially if you like OT, that should be an absolutely awesome broadcast to watch. But aside from that, don't really have much more to promote here, so... Chat us any last questions. If you have anything last to say, then now's the time, and then we can send you all off on a raid. Nothing from the comms, nothing from the runners.
I'm good.
Alright. Well, in that case, one final shout out we wanna thank, of course, you know, we know who the comms are, CJs and Battlecats. You've done an awesome job too. Also, 64-bit link and sorry, I was about to. Well, I thought CJs was running for some reason. 64-bit link and Ricky. Yeah, I'm not used to Ricky running. You know, normally Ricky runs the stream and doesn't run.
right?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I guess you. I guess you could say Freudian slip, but yeah, 64-bit link and Ricky putting an awesome show for us, and also the trackers, of course, Pac-Man, Horgos, and Run for making sure, you know, all the things get click if you join into the stream, let you know what the current state of the match is. But yeah, I think that's it from us. We'll send you all over to a raid 2D God, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Catch you all next time.
Laters.